Hello, my people. Hello. Welcome back to the Football Corner. Welcome back to the GOONER Lounge, episode 4 of the GOONER Lounge, episode 4. And before I invite my fellow panelists, fellow Arsenal fans, I feel like I need to have a discussion because I'm sitting there on a Wednesday evening, enjoying my dinner, having a drink, non alcoholic, obviously, because I'm Muslim. I'm sitting there, I have my dinner, having a drink. I'm enjoying a bit of football from Newcastle. They're playing PSG. As we know, they smacked them completely. And somehow I'm more pissed off than I was yesterday because a team like New Arsenal, how to deal with a team from France. And this isn't just one of their teams, one of their lower teams. This is the best team in France, my people. This is the best team in France that they have shown how to deal with them. Now, embarrassment continues for us in Europe as we go away to Lens. And Lens actually played a very good game. Okay, a very good game. There's going to be a lot to discuss in this live stream when I am joined by my panelists, but I felt like I needed to come out first to discuss my thoughts quickly on the game and just vent for a second because the performance from those boys yesterday, and I call them boys, I will not refer to them as men because that was not a performance of men on that pitch. They allowed themselves to be playing into Lens's hands. Lens had an answer for everything, absolutely everything that we did yesterday. Absolutely everything that we did. And it just poses the question out there, is this team really good enough yet to do anything in Europe? We will ask this question to the panel, to my fellow panelists. And listen, firstly, make sure you're hitting the like button for me, please, guys. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Now, I'm going to go out with and I'm going to point out the players that I feel deserve some credit, from my opinion, personally. I'm going to go with Declan Rice and Gabriel Jesus. Deserve credit for me because I feel like they are the only two that can really leave with their head held high. And I'll be honest with you guys, we finished that game with a possession of 60 something possession. 60 something possession while they had 30. That does not tell the full story, ladies and gentlemen. That does not tell the full story of what has happened on that pitch. And they're worrying signs, and it does not get easy from here, my people, because the next game that we have is a double bill. And against who? Sevilla. Sevilla are no joke. We play like that, and I promise you, Sevilla will dominate us, they will kill us, and they will leave us on that pitch with nothing. No points. Forget about if they come to the Emirates. I'm not even worried about that right now. I'm worried about away games. Away games. Us going away in Europe. Why we have such a difficulty going away in Europe, gathering our 3 points and bringing them back home. Some people will say it wasn't a good performance on the day. Some people will say we came in with a sense of arrogance, like we won the game already. I'm here to tell you, Arsenal squad, boys that play for the club that I love, you go into games thinking you won it already, I promise you, you will leave with Zero. Absolutely zero. Now, I am going to bring in my panelists because we do need to speak about this game, how poor we were, and everything in between. So, please welcome to the stage. Let me just change the background as well. But please do welcome to the stage my boy, Cav. Cav, how you doing, my broski, man?
Yo, what's going on, man? I'm good. That was an intense intro, man. Intense, but I'm
I've
good.
lost it. I've lost it, man. I've lost it with this team. When it comes to going Europe, like
Mm,
it's just, it's at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world, but it still is. It's important because you have to go in and at least put a performance in, like as if you deserve to be there. We did not fight that hard to get to playing in the Champions League for us to go out to Lens. I could
mhm,
understand if it's Marseille, if it's Lyon, it's Lens. They're sitting 15th in the league. If I'm without being too disrespectful to them, they're sitting 15th in the league. I mean, come
mm.
on, man.
They've had, you know
You know what
what?
I'm
I
saying?
admit they've had a poor start, but you know, last season they had a great season, and from the last few games, their form's been turning around, and they you could tell by yesterday they're a lot more athletic than we are. They're a lot stronger physically than we are,
Mm-hmm.
and they had a
100%.
game plan, and they executed it well. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they nullified us.
The thing is with the game plan, because you come into certain games, and I would like us to have a game plan. And our game plan was to pass it around them, play how we normally play in
Mm,
games. And to be honest, I was excited because a lot of the luck that we've had has come away from home, not at the Emirates, away from home.
yeah.
But for me, it seemed like once they got the hang of what we were doing, they figured us out. We had nothing to revert back to. We had no plan B, no plan C, absolutely diddly squat to revert back to. And I can't lie to you, man. It's poor from Arteta, very poor. I could fully
Mhm.
understand that the substitution had to be made for Saka, given that he was injured, and we will get to that as well because that is a topic on the agenda. We will speak about Saka's injury and that may
Mm.
what that may mean for the game on the weekend. But
Yep.
other than that, Rashid, are you here, Broski? I can see you in the back. Rashid is in the back. Yeah, nice one. Yeah, he is. Rashid, how's it going, man?
I'm all right. How are you guys doing? All right.
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. This is Cav, by the way. Right.
Nice to meet you,
Cav
brother.
Rashid.
What's going on, Rashid?
Wish you guys could meet on better circumstances, man. But
It's
we do move, guys.
post-mortem time. Post-mortem time. We're gonna know the cause of death in this situation.
Definitely. But
Mm,
listen, I'm gonna pose the first question, and I'm gonna pose it to Cav first, given that it is your debut. Thank you very much for being on the channel, firstly, as well.
no worries, man. Thanks for having me.
And guys, listen, his link will be, as well as Rashid's links to their channels, will be in the description. Make sure I'll put their name there. You just click on it, and it takes you straight to their channel, and then you can subscribe. Make sure you're subscribing, liking their content, giving them loads of support. And Cav, if I just
Yo.
if I go to you first,
Mm.
I just want you to explain. Just give me your thoughts on the performance from our attacking players, because some weren't up to
Yeah.
scratch.
Yeah. Do you know what? The performance by the attacking players, it was. Whew, it was shocking to say the least. There was nothing in the final third. There seemed to be no idea. Gabriel Jesus, yes, I commend him for that finish. It was a very clinical finish. Apart from that, I don't think he did anything else in the game but run around like a headless chicken. That Kevin Danso, the centre back, he was with him all game, and he had him physically. He was in his head, mentally, and you know, he was poor. Trossard, I don't think I've ever seen a poorer performance from Leandro Trossard as well. I expected him to do a lot more. He didn't do enough for me. Saka, just unfortunate, innit? That was just unfortunate. Vieira came on, but I don't like seeing Vieira in that right position. Vieira, that's not his position. You know, he's better. I'd say as a left 8 in the 8 position, or even a 10. He could probably be there, but that's not his position. I think on the bench, you know, someone like Reece Nelson, I think would have probably been a better fit with his pace as well to get in behind their defenders and run at the defenders. And in terms of Odegaard, he was quiet. He had one of his quiet games. And Havertz, did Havertz even play? You know?
It didn't look like it. Did not look like it, honestly.
I've tried to give Havertz the benefit of the doubt every week. And I say the same thing. I'm like, you know, he just needs to get his mojo. He needs a game. And, you know, them giving him the penalty on the weekend, you know, in my head, I thought, okay, it was only a penalty, but it might take his confidence level up there a bit. But it's like he went backwards in that game. He was, oh, man, I don't know. I was just disappointed in the whole of them, to be honest. Yeah.
No, listen, apart from Gabriel Jesus, because obviously I personally think he was in regards to Gabriel Jesus, the only reasoning for me thinking that he can leave really with his head held high is because he was forced into so many positions where he had to just do other jobs. And to be honest, yeah, you can say he was running around like a headless chicken, not doing his job solely. But with Gabriel Jesus, he just seems to always get dragged into other people's jobs, trying to do the press or pressing from the back, and then trying to go into the attack and try and help out with the build up. Do you know what I mean? So that's probably one of the bad things about his game is just he tries to do too much sometimes, and when you try to do too much, you could just get flustered. You know what I mean? Just you don't look as good when you're trying to do 5 jobs at once. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I'm in the kitchen and I'm cooking and washing the dishes at the same time, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean,
I agree.
But you know what? I'm gonna pose a question to Rashid because Rashid, just talk to me about the defense as well, please, because there's a couple of players there that didn't necessarily have their best games.
Well, if we're talking about the 5, including the goalkeeper in defence, Raya's at fault for a poor pass, which I think was supposed to go to, I want to say Tomiyasu, but clearly it's a poor pass because you see Tomiyasu running towards the ball. It's far too late before Lons get it, and then it's a really good cross, a even better chest down, and I think even before he hits the ground, why he passes it over for their goal scorer to score their first goal. So I'm disappointed with how that first goal went, but also I think you can see how good Wahi was. Wahi, I think, he was the guy that I was looking out as the danger man for Lons. He set up a goal and scored a goal. And if you looked at his positioning for the goal he set up Lonzo's equaliser, it's right bang in between Gabriel and Saliba. It's at that point you're asking which one of those two is actually getting him. He's in between the two. Not one of them is deciding to take command of. All right, I've got him here. Yeah, because he's a clear danger. If anyone saw the preview to the match, I think anyone who's seen any previews to the match, Lons, why he scored in the last game. He's a record signing for Lons. Clear danger man. He was wanted by quite a few. Linked with us, linked with Chelsea. Well, everyone's linked to Chelsea. I think I got linked. I think I got linked to Chelsea last Thursday. But the point is that the way that goal was scored, it just reminded me of many European campaigns over the last 3 or 4 years, and even going further back when we were last in the Champions League. It reminds me of a lack of savvy in the defence. You're 1-0 up. It should be absolutely difficult for Lons to be able to get a cross in such that both of your centre backs are caught out. It should not happen. That should not happen. Yeah. So for me, that's a diabolical goal for us to concede. It's a beautiful goal. If you're neutral and look at that goal, it's beautiful. The cross, chest, the pass, the finish, beautiful. But when we get time to sort of talk about my comments on the attack, because I've got as many criticisms for the attack as I do for the defense. I just felt that we never played like we were 1-0 up and protecting the lead as you should do away from home.
100%.
It never looked like we were playing like that. And for me, Sadi, you were talking about it in the last live that we were on. That 1-0 against Real Madrid in the Nou Camp, Bernabeu, that is one of the best games that we've played. It's only 1-0 though. It's not exciting. Didn't beat them 3-4. It was a defensive display throughout much of that game, but that's what you need to see in the Champions League, especially it doesn't matter it's just away from home. You've got to get yourself ahead. We spoke about this. If the Arsenal get an early lead, which is what they did, they got an early lead in less than 20 minutes played. You shut up shop, or you be not necessarily shut up shop. You play counter.
Exactly.
You play counter. You have almost 2 banks of defenses. Your midfield become defensive, but I think then we're talking about lack of personnel here, because I think the midfield really were not the midfield you would want to have in an away game such as this. Had Partey been fit, I think we would have seen a more defensive setup in midfield. I'm not sure that Havertz would have got a game. So the other thing that really made me annoyed about it was clearly there's a lack of balance in the squad with the personnel we have available.
100%. And you know what? Just a quick one. I got a comment here for Renfis Karim, who says, I'm so sorry, Arteta, but we don't play football in any way. It's called walking football. Disgusting. And to be honest, I think we did see an aspect of that where a lot of players on the pitch yesterday were walking, weren't. I think the only player that I can say that ran their socks off, apart from Gabriel Jesus and what he was doing, the only player that proper ran his socks off and deserved his paycheck was Declan Rice. Declan Rice was the only one who seemed to be able to do anything.
I think in commentary, depending on who you were watching it, who the broadcaster was, one of the commentators was saying it looks like Declan Rice is the only one who wants to take the game by the scruff of the neck and pull his team towards victory. Yeah, and I would agree with you. Yeah, that I mean, it was evident there. He hadn't given up on trying to get that game back in Arsenal's control.
Yeah. Oh. Like that. I think.
What's happened?
So there, Regime?
Yeah, so yeah, I just put mute. I was looking for someone else to talk.
Oh, okay, sorry. No, I thought you were still saying something, bro. I was like, what?
No, it's muted. It's muted.
No, 100%. Cav, what do you think of that, bro? What do you think of the football, the midfield, the defense? Sorry, I think you're still muted. Let me just unmute.
Yeah, bro. That's all right. Coming through all right now?
Yeah, all good, bro. All good.
Yeah, no, with me, I agree. I agree with what Rashid said. Listen, if Partey was fit, I reckon Havertz wouldn't have been anywhere near that. But you know, I don't know what Arteta feels Havertz really offers us. I know he says he's got him in there, obviously, because he's a big guy, he's 6'4". He's got him in there for the height, for the physicality and stuff, but it's like he doesn't even use that to his advantage. Like I was saying before, I feel that he just slows down a lot of the play, and he's never, when he gets the ball, he's either passing back or he's passing to the side. He doesn't seem to have that confidence to grab the ball like he used to at Leverkusen, get the ball and try and beat a man, or just make proper progressive passes and make runs into the box. I don't know. He seems very flat-footed at the minute, and even his whole body language, just looking at him, I really don't know. He just doesn't. Yeah. It's either he doesn't look like he wants to be there, or he doesn't seem comfortable with the instructions he's been given, and it's like he's thinking too much. He's got too much on his mind, and he's not really focusing on his actual game of playing. And I don't know. I'm just kind
of. Listen. The thing is, I completely agree with you. And for Havertz, is at the moment, he's on very thin ice with me. Very thin ice, because I said that I didn't agree with the signing when we signed him. I said that I'm going to give him time, let him come in, do whatever he wants to do, see what Arteta's going to do with this signing. Let's see if it can work. And I can't lie. Listen, at the end of the day, time is running out, man. Time is running out for this Havertz guy. The only good performances I've seen from him are up front in that kind of false nine position, or whatever you want to call it. Apart from that, in the midfield, he disappears. In the midfield, he just doesn't look like he's got a connection. Yesterday was dreadful. The connection between him and Trossard yesterday was disgusting. That was some of the worst football I've ever seen in my life.
It was horrible.
And for me to be watching an Arsenal team, which I think plays some of the best football we've ever seen at times, to produce that against Lens is crazy. It's crazy. And you know what? Shah just took the words out of my mouth. The words out of my mouth. We are moving like a banter club with that performance. That's the type of performance that you expect Manchester United to put out, which they did. You can't come into a game against Lens and be sitting there and let them dictate what you do. because they
Yep.
literally looked like they were dictating every single thing we did. Everything we did was allowed by them. As long as they allowed us to do it, we did it. Literally, bro. It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's crazy.
It's crazy. And the thing is, like, I feel that week because before the game, there's not one Arsenal fan I know that said we were gonna lose or it was gonna be a tough game. Everybody went into the game comfortable, talking 3-0 wins and 4-1s and things like that. So everyone was confident, and I feel that the players probably had that in their minds as well. They probably went there thinking they were just going to turn up and win, and it was an automatic win. You know, there was no fight at all. It was lackluster. It was just disappointing to watch. And when you think about it, yes, we know Lons are at the minute, they've started off the season quite poorly or whatever, but this is the Champions League. In the Champions League, these one-off games, other teams are going to turn up. So we're not in a position where we could take any team lightly in this competition. Do you know what I mean? And I just feel that Arteta, I don't know what it is. I mean, I love what Arteta's doing, but I just think he makes a lot of decisions that are really questionable. And I wonder if, you get the higher ups, they actually speak to him and question some of the decisions he makes. I know, obviously, I'm not going to speak about Saka because I know we're going to get onto that, and that's frustrated me out of everything. But just in terms of, like you said, the midfield yesterday, Rice was the only one that really trying and really wanted it and was fighting for every ball and
Everything. He was literally involved in he was involved in everything we done. In everything. It was actually crazy how much Rice was doing in the midfield on his own. Erdegaard was nowhere to be seen. I don't know. He was doing kick-ups in the corner. Havertz does what Havertz does. Absolutely poor. And yeah, listen, I'm just quickly gonna go to these comments because these, you know what, they're actually, these guys are dropping facts, man. I said Memphis Karim has said we were laughing at United defenders trying to play tiki taka with Onana and putting their team in danger. We did the exact same. Raya passing the ball to Saliba, Gabriel, and Zinchenko for no reason, for absolutely no reason. For no reason. And then Shah also says Zinchenko needs to stop giving the ball away. We can't play inverted fullbacks with these high press teams in the UCL. We play a lot better when Ben White came on for Zinchenko. I can agree with that. Ben White on that right back position and Tomiyasu moving to the left back position brought stability to the team. It made us feel a bit stable, more balanced. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
I think that's that's a conversation to be had, Zinchenko, and how vulnerable we are defensively when he goes forward, and what happens if he loses the ball, because it's not just Lons, but many teams have worked out that if the pressures applied to Zinchenko when he inverts into midfield to, sort of overload. The problem with that is if he does lose the ball, his defensive tracking back and his defensive positioning is questionable. And he has at times caught us out where we've conceded or we've given up chances to opposition teams. And I think that's something to be very, very, very concerned about. But Cav, you were saying that you're not really sure what Arteta's doing. For me, I blame kind of almost equally both the guys on the pitch as well as the manager for the defeats. I put it on a 50-50 basis. Each of them equally taking their blame. And I was thinking about it, the
100%.
UCL, the UEFA Champions League. You can also call it the UEFA Clinical League, because this is a competition where you have to be clinical. So when you get your chances, you've got to take them. And if you look at watch the match, you don't even need to watch the match, just watch the highlights. Havertz gets a chance on the left-hand side from us. I forget who crosses the ball. It might be Vieira, it might be Odegaard. And he tries to side foot it into the goal when he's close enough to just lace it. Right? Now, Tomiyasu's chance is criminal because you're not even trying to get the corners. You're hitting the center of the goal. You're not even making it difficult for the goalkeeper, who is already central anyway. Jesus with his I think half volley again on the left hand side. Not good enough. Not even on target. Not even on target. His goal was beautiful, but what I've noticed about us on the pitch, not just this season, but for many seasons, is that when we get ahead, we don't necessarily impose ourselves after that. We almost say, well, we've got ahead. You guys want to try and maybe get yourselves back into the game. We're not ruthless enough. And what I mean by that in terms of ruthlessness, it doesn't mean you have to score goal 2, 3, or 4. You need to maybe be in a position whereby there's no chance the other team are getting a goal. You're so defensively tight, I can't see how the other team are going to get in. That's ruthlessness. Ruthlessness in defense. Yeah? And I just think that once they're on the pitch, Arteta, I'm hoping, can't see that happening time and time again and not recognize it and try to drill it into the squad. Yeah? And that might be a level of quality, a lack of quality, because I think the argument of us having a lack of depth, just numbers-wise, is hard to argue this season compared to last season. Now, I think it's really about not just a lack of depth, but a lack of quality depth. That's what I think is the issue here. Because when you had the substitutions on, I don't necessarily think it raised the bar for Arsenal. Yeah? Those who were available, who came onto the pitch, it didn't raise the bar for Arsenal. So we have a decent squad, but we don't have a ruthless squad. We don't have a squad that's clinical. And when I talk about clinical as well, I'm sorry, but up front, we just were not clinical enough. Too many chances, about 4 or 5 chances where we should have scored, and we just didn't. And I see other teams with a striker or strikers who are more, or forwards who are more clinical than us, and they get their goals. This is one that was my concern, and it's not just that match. It's been my concern for a while, and everyone knows there are 2 positions that Arsenal have not dealt with, and it's been very obvious for us to get a striker that is going to get the goals, because I don't understand why people think it's going to be necessarily a negative thing that you have a 30-goal striker, or the other forwards that you're not going to get your 15 goals from them because you're going to depend on the striker so much. No, that's a plan B, or that's your plan A. The alternative plan is if your striker's not there, then the guys who were getting 15 goals come in and get their contributions. So you can't say that. Well, I'm not going to go and get a 30-goal striker because I don't want to see Odegaard move from 15 goals a season to 10. I don't want to see Gabriel get only single-digit goals. Martinelli get only single-digit goals. I'm worried about Saka not reaching 15. No.
Yeah,
that's not how you move. That's not how you move from a good team to an elite team.
Hmm. You know what? Let me just get some of these comments because we've had a few. We've had a few in since you've been talking, bro. Let me just get through these ones. So MDL says Habit scored a pen and our fans gas him. I'm so done with these, Mansard. Yeah, listen, the whole thing with the penalty that got given to, if I speak, I'm in big trouble in it. That's Jose Mourinho. If I speak, I'm in big trouble in it. Scants, big up Scants, man. Subscribe to Scants TV, man. Subscribe to Scants TV, man. Good Liverpool content, bro. Says Newcastle showed Arsenal how to play today. Teams can't live with Prem team's speed. So they could live with our speed. They could live with our speed. Yeah, bro, they could live with our speed, man. Lance had no problem dealing with my speed when I was on the pitch. So good. They could catch up to us easy. MDL comes back here again, says, I think we are also sort of unlucky because their keeper literally made 3 point blank saves. He was genuinely class. Samba, very good keeper, by the way. Saw him play a few games last season for them, and he was actually very good. I think he got the team of the season, didn't he? For the league on. And then he also came back again to say this game also showed we need a striker. Jesus was manhandled today. Get me Tony already. And then he said yesterday as a thing. And then Shaw came out and said, Ivan, Tony, and Pedro Neto in January, please. And then
that's the dream, but will it happen?
Exactly. That's the thing. A lot of people want to go for Oshi, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. And then Kareem back here saying it's simple, people. Rice is the only one in this midfield because he was playing for David Moyes for the years where the physical battle is crucial in football. Arteta teaches our players to be soft. Wrong. Listen, at the end of the day, just on that comment, we used to have a guy who could rough up the midfield. He's now gone. We need to replace him with more players like that. You need in your midfield, you need to have players that can really test the other midfield. Let's get physical with them. Let's push them about a bit. Do you know what I mean? You sometimes need that. You mix that with playing beautiful football, and you have a world-class team, a team that can't be beat easy. They can't be taken off the ball, especially in that midfield.
I said the same. I said this season we're gonna miss that Xhaka presence. We're gonna miss it because he's someone that would fight for the team to death, and to have someone like Rice alongside him.
But remember, guys, I have to give Arteta a bit of, go onto the Arteta Defense League right now. I don't think Arteta teaches our players to be soft. Arteta never wanted Xhaka to go. They respected the time that he's put in, the years of service. He wanted to go. He's at a particular age. He knows he's going to be his last big contract. He already has an affiliation with Germany. And he just wanted to go. And the fact that Arteta, Emery, Wenger, all were stuck by Xhaka, and it was Arteta who finally got the best out of Xhaka. I think it's unfair to say that Arteta sort of teaches our players to be soft. Now, I mean, thanks for the comment, Gwen Fitzcarry. I'm just saying that, with respect, I think in terms of personnel, we just didn't have the personnel that was necessary for that midfield. We didn't. We needed Partey and Rice in that midfield starting with Odegaard a bit further forward. That's what we needed, but we didn't have the personnel. And so, like I said, there's a lack of depth, lack of quality depth when it comes to Arsenal and availability as well.
Hey, hold on, because Shaw's actually a funny guy, you know that. Shah's actually got me creasing. I said we're gonna have to play with Will the Dog right wing against City. Hey, you know what? Yeah, hey, listen. Hey, Shah, big up to yourself, man. Big up yourself because, bro, in the darkest time right now, you're still out here with jokes, bro. It's crazy. But
Still
he said
brilliant. Still
Shah
looks.
also said, I still think we need a box to box midfielder because we only have cams and DMs. Bro, listen, that's another thing we need to bring. We need to bring me a Nicola Barella, bring me a Frankie De Jong, someone who can do that box to box role. Bring me that.
Do you know what though? We've actually, sorry to cut you off, but
That's
we've got one thing that one thing that I can say about Arteta that annoys me is he doesn't know how to bring through the youth. We've got some quality youth players. Miles Lewis Skelly, for example, he's a brilliant box to box. Yeah, he's only 17, but he's very strong, right? And he's very dynamic. And we need someone like that in our midfield, but I can't see Arteta. Obviously, when we played Brentford last week, we gave the guy on the right, what's his name,
Sogo Junior.
Sago. Yeah, we gave him. Yeah, he had a little game and stuff, but in the under 21s, under 23s, or whatever, he's not been the one for me that's been making the noise. You've got like the likes of Cozy Dewberry, who is a Saka region, who's been making all the noise.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Miles Lewis Skelly. You've got Waneri. You've got Raw Waters.
How Raw Waters, sorry, bro. How Raw Waters did not play a minute in that game is absolutely criminal. People have gone to jail for less.
I'm telling you, it's true though. We've got quality in these young. Look at Emery gave Saka the chance, right? And look what's happened. Do you know what I mean? Arteta
You know what? I think Arteta's got an MO of pathways for youth players, yeah. And I think you see it with oh gosh. He was on loan with his name escapes me right now. He was on loan last season with Blackpool. And when he signed his contract with Patino. Now, I think the pathway is similar to what William Saliba had to do with Arteta. I think he sends them out. If he thinks that they are good enough, he doesn't keep them around to hold bench in the League Cup. He sends them out to have a full season somewhere else. And then when they're ready, they get incorporated into the first team. So I think we're going to continue to see frustration with regards to with the under 23 players and the under 21 players who are still with us this season. It's like the thing is, everybody knows, everyone was after Manueri, but we've seen nothing of him this season.
Yeah.
And the approach is done differently by some other teams. They'll play a 17-year-old Rooney, for example. They'll put him in. They'll play a 16-year-old Rooney. They don't care. Just because they think, yeah, you are. They don't really care about what age you are. You're good enough. We'll get you minutes. I don't think Arteta does that. I think he sends players who are on the fringe of the first team. He sends them out on loan for half a season, for a season, and then they get incorporated the next year. Because I really thought this season was going to be Charlie Coutinho's season. I thought he'll have his year at Blackpool and then come back to us. But, the rumours were he was about to leave, but Arteta's convinced him. Arteta's convinced Manueri to sign on. So there's something he's doing right. He's got the gift of the gab, that's for sure. Because
he said the same thing about Balogun though. He convinced Balogun to sign another deal, and look how that turned out. Do you know what I mean? I feel it's just going to be the same scenario all over again.
I
100%.
think
And you know,
I think the Balogun one is more about Arteta still not seeing that he needs a plan B, and that requires a different type of personnel up front. They're pretty much samey. You know, I don't see a huge difference between Eddie Nketiah and Gabriel Jesus. One finishes better than the other. One runs and is more difficult to track than the other. You know, if you were to merge both their good points together, you could have got rid of the other. To put in a different type of striker, Balogun would have got his chance. But I think these are things that as a young manager, Arteta has to learn. And I have said this before that perhaps, and you were saying this, Kat, perhaps you're saying, well, the guys up top, what are they saying to Arteta? I don't think there's enough football people above him to ask him the right questions.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's enough football. There's not enough football people who were or are Arsenal people above him to ask him the right questions. And these are things that are lacking in the makeup of the club, which do need to be addressed eventually. Because you know the problem that we had with Wenger in the latter years, that we felt that he was too powerful and there wasn't anybody above to check him. And we don't have, apart from Edu as a director of football, if you want to call him an Arsenal man, you could. We don't have anyone else really there on the board to check Arteta.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You know what? Yeah, you're right. And the thing is, yeah, when it comes to bringing in young talent, Shah's obviously put here a very good comment of somebody that I would actually like to see come in. Maybe he won't get minutes straight away, but he's still a very talented player. He says, realistically, I think we could easily get Manu Kone from Borussia Mönchengladbach. In the Bundesliga, he's a young box-to-box midfielder who's very talented. Liverpool did want him last season. And then he came back and said Fabio Vieira in this protein shake with some Weetabix, which I do agree. He's still, I think he's improved a little bit with his physicality, but still not to that level. Because even in that Tottenham game, I saw him getting pushed about a bit. So maybe he's not fully there yet, fully up to spec yet in regards to his physicality. Okay, what's happening there?
Yeah.
My bad, guys. Can you still hear me?
Yeah. No, Kone is a good shot. Kone is a good shot. I think he was close to Liverpool. I think he picked up a little injury in the under 21s Euros, I think. But him, Kefren Turam as well, another quality player. There's a lot of players out there. But then if we keep bringing in all these youngsters, I feel it's just gonna push our guys, the young guys, even further back in the pecking order, like the Patinos, like the Lewis Skellies and those type of guys as well. So there needs to be some sort of medium.
But if we're gonna be on the level of and don't crucify me for this, if we're gonna be on the level of Real Madrid or Manchester City or domestically Bayern Munich, I think we're going to have to be even more ruthless when it comes to that. If there is someone levels above Patino, as much as we like our Highland boys, he might never play for Arsenal. We have to start accepting that. And we have to also start accepting that the guys on the bench have to be as impactful as the guys on the pitch in the starting 11. This is 100%. The move now. This is whatever phase we're in right now. What I've just described is the phase or phases ahead. Because if we are to finally call ourselves a dominant European force, we've got to have that type of ruthlessness in terms of our personnel and our recruitment. It has to happen. I would love to see. I want Charlie Patino playing for us now, but I don't want it at the risk of us missing out on winning a title this season, or not getting further down in there into the the latter stages of the Champions League. I don't want that. I don't want that sentiment getting out of the way, getting in the way of progress and titles. No way. This is where I think we're going to have to, as a fan base, get more ruthless. Trust me, I want Charlie Patino in, but if Charlie Patino is not of the level, eventually, then we're going to have to just say goodbye.
No, listen, I completely agree. And the thing is, yeah, you get to a certain level. You get to a certain level because you get to a certain level in your process where you become a giant in Europe. And these giants, i.e. the Real Madrids, the Barcelonas, sometimes for them, it's not just about bringing in the youngsters from their own academies. Like for Barcelona, maybe, because they have an amazing academy, La Masia. But when it comes to like Real Madrid and that, they buy the best young talent. They go out there, they see the best young talent, they say, right, I'm buying that. I'm buying that player because he is the best young player in his position. He's going to set us out for the next 5 to 10. Look at Camavinga. I would love to have Camavinga in my team right now. He completely changes us. If you stick Camavinga in our team right now with Declan Rice in the 6, that just completely changes us overnight. I feel like we add a certain level to our midfield, a bit of energy. He runs a lot. He helps defensively. He goes forward. He's able to shoot. He has a good pass on him. So many qualities that fit what we're looking for in the midfield. And let's not forget, we still have a massive, and that's actually another fact, is that I don't think in regards to the striker position, if we're going to fill that, we're still trying to comply with financial fair play. There is players that are coming in, but we've spent a lot of money over the last few years. A lot of money.
Yep.
So right now we have to comply with financial fair play. I believe that is why Raya was actually brought in on loan rather than bought for the 20 whatever it is million that they offered for him. So there's definitely a problem there where we need to try and control the spending because it might be getting a bit out of control. But I believe overall, I think this could have worked out for the better because once we get in our striker, which eventually we will get, I don't know whether it will be done in the January transfer window. I think it might be a bit too early yet. I think I think we'll probably be looking for the summer in order to get our striker in, and a midfielder is definitely needed. I don't know, Havertz right now, just scrap it. I genuinely don't know whether he is the right guy, man. Honestly.
We wasted 65 million pounds. That could have been spent a lot better on a better player. I don't understand, man.
The thing is, yeah, when it comes to bringing in players, you have to focus on what you're missing. From what we're missing, which was that dog in the midfield, the aggressive player that's there, ready to rough up anybody in that midfield. When we're missing that, where's the thoughts? What's the thought behind bringing in Kai Havertz? Why? For what? For what reason? What does he bring? What does he genuinely bring? apart from inexperience in that position and not necessarily playing well. And I understand that he's come in and it's been all eyes on him. Like this man's bloody 2-pack or something. He's there trying to put in his performances, not putting them in. They're not good enough. Whatever he's doing, it's not good enough. And I'll be real with you, it's shocking, absolutely shocking. So we need to definitely look at bringing in some new players, whether it be a striker, whether it be another midfielder, box to box, somebody with fight, somebody that can rough up a midfield, rough up other midfielders. But that is listen, that's a topic that we could talk about for ages, because there's so many players that I could tell you. I named just a few, just a couple off the top of my head. Not Camavinga, what's his name? I named 3 off the top of my head. Camavinga, Barella, and De Jong. Those are 3 that you could buy right now, and they won't cost you more than 60 mil. Barella, because Inter are probably holding out, they'll probably charge you maybe like 80 million. Shahir says, it pains me to see Maddison balling out. Tottenham for 40 million, while Havertz is getting gifted penalties and is being treated like a make-a-wish kid. Yeah. No, if that ain't facts, I don't know what is. If that ain't facts, then I don't know what is. Because genuinely, one of them is balling out, having the time of his life in North London. The other one, it's crazy. It's crazy. MDL here says, I don't know about De Jong, Barella though. If you put 80 million, are they taking it? I think they're taking it. You put 80 mil down on the table for Barella, Inter are taking that. 100% they're taking that.
Okay, say we could only buy one. Box, or which one would you take?
Repeat the question. Sorry, bro. You lagged out there for a second.
Oh no, I was going to say if in January we only had the opportunity to sign a centre forward or box to box, which one would you prioritize?
I'd say a centre forward, because we can make do with what we have in the midfield, but there's definitely a centre forward issue. I don't think Nketiah is good enough. I think that Gabriel Jesus needs a bit of an assistance. We need another game plan. You need that plan B, which at the moment we don't have. Let's face it, once all of our midfielders are there and active and ready, you know what I mean? We have midfielders there that can play that role. Emil Smith-Rowe, in my personal opinion, when he came on, looked all right, was doing things, just overall looked good. Didn't look necessarily like he's out of place. He tried to take a shot on. But a striker, listen, Eddie Nketiah can have great performances, but I've always said the same thing. If Eddie Nketiah can be consistent, that is great. All I want is consistency from you, my brother. But if you can't be consistent, if Eddie Nketiah is countless amounts of times is here just dropping stinkers, and then he drops has 3 good games, and he drops stinkers again, and he has 2 good games. What does that do for me? Like, genuinely, what does that do for me? What does that do for us as a team? It doesn't help. I need someone like an Ivan Toney. I need someone like an Osimhen. I need someone that is a big striker, someone who is ready to take the game by the scruff of the neck and say, you know what, I need someone to sit down the midfielders sit down Erdegaard, sit down Thomas Partey, sit down Declan Rice, and say, right, I will do my fucking job. I need you guys to pass me the ball. If you guys drop it to me, I promise you 9 out of 10 times I'm scoring the goal. It just doesn't seem like we have a player like that who really would take opportunities like that his very last thing he's going to ever do. Like as if his life depends on it.
Yep.
That's how I expect you to play. And we just haven't got that in a striker position.
Yeah, now I was going to say, and it's these opportunities that are going to cost us points, because look at the Spurs game, like going back to that, even that chance Gabriel Jesus when he nicked it from Maddison and he skied it, like opportunities like that, you know, a clinical striker is putting that in the back of the net. You know, chances like, obviously we beat Palace, yes, 1-0, but Nketiah had a few chances in that game, especially the chance where he tried to chip the keeper and things like, come on, man, those are going to be the fine margins between us getting 3 points and possibly drawing a game. And you know, this season's going to be a lot more competitive. Liverpool, you know, obviously they were unfortunate the other day, but Liverpool look like they're back and they're only just warming up. City the same. City haven't even hit gear 2 yet. Spurs 1 game a week. You know, they're playing better football. Newcastle going to get a lot of after this game tonight, especially the confidence now going on from that is going to be higher from Newcastle. It's going to be a tougher season, man. So when certain games, the Fulham game, for instance, those are games we need to be winning if we're going to mount any sort of title challenge. We can't be drawing these type of games, man, anymore. We've got to be clinical, because we get the chances. We're just not clinical enough.
That's the problem. We make the chances. We make plenty of chances. But you know, Shah just said it correctly as well. He just said it perfectly. Nketiah is the type of guy to score 2 past United and then flop against Nottingham Forest. How does that make sense? How does that make sense? How can you score 2 goals against United and in the next game you drop a stinker?
I think it makes sense because what we are hoping from Nketiah is something that he can't ever provide for us. What we're hoping from Gabriel Jesus is something he can't ever provide for us. We want a Van Persie. We want Van Persie scoring 30 goals in 1 season. That's what we want. That's the reality. We know that. Do you know why? Because we look up north and see City dominating, and they've got a guy that scores 52 goals in 1 season. We know he's a freak of nature. Yeah? But give us a guy that scores 30. Give us a guy that scores 30, who's a target man, who does not get bullied off, who actually loves playing back to goal with a defender on his shoulders already, because he knows he can take him on physically as well as skillfully. Give us one of those strikers.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I just wanted to ask you guys, what do you make of Ollie Watkins? Is that a striker you'd possibly take by Arsenal?
I rate him. I rate him. I don't know about you guys. I rate him.
I'm going to say this. I won't talk about any particular striker at all. Yeah, but what I want Arsenal to do is to go and get a striker as close to the numbers of Haaland as possible. That might be there might be a goal difference of 20 goals. Yeah, he only gets 30 goals a season compared to 50. I don't care, but get someone like that. I'll tell you someone who's looking impressive and might get United out of a lot of trouble is that Rasmus Højlund. That guy looks like he likes to fight, and he knows how to get the back of the net.
I'm so
now,
jealous.
Obviously, he's at United, but look, the two Manchester teams have got their strike force sorted out. It looks like, yeah, for at least the next 5 years before someone comes and nabs one or both of them. For Arsenal, we have not had a 30-goal striker for yonks, and it tells. it tells in terms of us, especially in the last part of a season, trying to get in the years before top 4. It tells when it comes into the run into a league challenge where we can't get the goals that are needed to turn a 2-2 into a 3-2, to turn a 1-0 into a 2-1. It tells when we don't have that. So to answer your question, Cav, right now I want a striker. That's where we're lacking the most. We can make up the numbers in the other position, box to box. You can get Declan Rice to do it if Partey's fit. You can get Partey to do it if he's really fit. But right now, there's no one that's coming in from the stock that we've got that will come in and says, "Yeah, I'll be that 30-goal guy." So Rashid, we need to bring that person in.
Rashid, I'm just quickly gonna invite Igal. He's dropped in as well, man. Dropped in. Thank you very much, Igal, for coming through to the channel, man. Big up yourself, man. How you doing today, man?
What's up, Igal? How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, guys. Hope you guys are doing well. Yeah, man, I was just listening to some of the stuff you were saying. I fully agree with the whole finishing point because let's be honest, guys, our defense has been solid for majority of the season. We conceded 6 goals in the league, no goals away from home. The first loss of the season. There's no need for overreactions like there was yesterday. Now, calmer heads will prevail, and we're going to go past this game and be like, you know what? We could have finished our chances. Unlucky with not finishing our chances, but at the same time, we have to be better. We're not good enough on the day. No excuses. We should be beating a team like Lens that relatively poor this season in the league. And I think it's a level of arrogance from the team in the sense that they just believed that they were going to get through this game and kind of didn't take it as serious. Let's be honest. The lineup was serious, but the performance was not a performance that was like, it almost seemed like they were thinking that they were going to get 1 goal and the game was going to be done. Lens weren't going to do nothing, but they pressed us. They weren't sitting back. Anytime they got the ball, they saved their energy for the attack. Their defense was solid, and then whenever they did win the ball back, they saved their energy. They won the ball in good positions. David Raya made a silly mistake, and you know what? These things happen. We move on. But going into the City game, everyone's worried about Saka. I feel like Arteta might be lying. I feel like all these things it's Harry Kane 2.0. You guys seen it every North London derby. Whenever we played Harry Kane, he was injured before the game. So hopefully that's the situation here. I hope Saka's not injured to the point where he can't play, but we should have done more rotation.
But Igal, the actual because the question we were asked, which was asked by Cav, was in the summer, what would you improve? Would you rather improve the midfield or would you improve the attack?
Listen, we're going to improve both. I think in January we signed Ivan Toney. That's me. I don't know about you guys.
I would love that, man. I would love that.
I wanted Ivan Toney back in 2021 when he was in the championship. So I think he would be a baller for us. But the question is, do we see an opportunity to get Victor Osimhen? Because if there's an opportunity to get Victor Osimhen in the summer or to get Ivan Toney in January, that's where I'm kind of confused. But yo, big up, Matt.
Bro, Victor Osimhen is just. I'll be real with Victor Osimhen. I was on a space. I don't know if you saw it, Edgar. I was on a space, where I was having an argument with a load of Arsenal fans because I'm just under the thought process. If I'm to pick of either Osimhen or I'm to pick from Ivan Toney, I'm taking Ivan Toney. I don't know if that sounds crazy to you guys, but for me, I'm just thinking of the point of view of Ivan Toney's experienced. He already knows the defenders. He knows how they move in this league. He knows he's the perfect striker. For me, it's not a problem even if we get him in January because he started training in September. I think September the 1st, he actually went back, started training with the boys, regular training with the actual squad. He can't play games yet until January, but he started to train with the boys. So if we bring in Ivan Toney in the January transfer window, I can genuinely see him racking maybe 10 to 15 goals just in that span. At Arsenal, I can see something like that. I can see him dropping the numbers with the amount of chances we create.
Bro, with Jesus, Eddie, and Ketia up top, just against Tottenham alone, we missed out on 3 goals. You go to the Manchester United game. Yes, we scored 3 goals, but I feel like we left another 2 on the table there. And then you go to Fulham, you go against Everton. You just look at all the games that we played this season, bro. There's been so many chances. The only part of our the only part of our game which we are not solid in is our attack. Everywhere else, I think we're solid. Even with the question marks over Kai Havertz, I think our midfield is solid. But yeah, I seen someone in the comments.
I think we are. You're right. With the personnel, I don't think there's any concerns about goalkeeper, defense, midfield. There's no real major concerns. We're not talking about why didn't we get that player? Why didn't we sign this prospect? We're not saying that. What we are saying is what's been glaringly obvious for a long time with this team, that up front we are not clinical. We're not ruthless. We don't finish our dinner with some matches. We don't absolutely annihilate teams. We don't. We need a striker that is capable of doing that. Someone who's going to go and get a hat trick and demolish the opposition. This is what we need to focus on more so than anything else, I think, right now, because I do think with this season, it might be the pivotal reason why we don't get to where we want to get to in terms of objectives.
Yeah. You know what? No, go ahead.
Okay. The only thing I'll say, is I want to use today as an example, We all saw the Newcastle game, We seen what a powerful midfield can do for you when you play against. They played against PSG. Let's just have it outright. They played against PSG, which was one of the most. They're the top team in France, and they're one of the top teams in the UCL. So the fact that they played against them, and I'll be honest with you, that midfield played very well against PSG, very well. They did. They didn't look scared. At times when they needed to, they were very physical. They fought them off the ball. Right now, I've got 2 players that can do that. I got Declan Rice and I got Thomas Partey. Thomas Partey is eventually going to leave. I can see that happening already. We already hear the murmurs behind the scenes with Juventus circling. They want him badly. So Thomas Partey is going to leave. Leaves Declan Rice, who is a fighter. I can see it already. He doesn't mind. He'll get down and dirty. He'll get his knees and elbows dirty. He don't care. But for me, is bringing in that other player that can also get dirty. Add that final piece, because Martin Odegaard, I can allow him if he's not dirty. He's the creative spark. Everything goes through him. So I can allow him if he doesn't get dirty sometimes. It's okay, because he's doing the creative work, linking up with Saka, just doing the normal things that he does on a weekly basis. But for me, I'm looking at getting a midfielder in that can listen. I said it already, man. If we bring in Barella, he is literally a living embodiment of what I want at this club. Last year we saw it. Barella in that Champions League final was going in for tackles in the attack, or on the attacking team, obviously against Man City. He was going in for tackles, trying to get the ball back.
How many marquee signings are we going to bring in, though?
That's the question.
Marquee
How much money have we got left in the bank? That's the real problem.
I don't think it's necessarily that. I think honestly that we're at a phase now where I think we're going to try to do what Fergie did at his pomp. Sign a top player, just one top player in the summer, and that's it. Just to add, just to put cherry on the top, just to gloss things up, just to move things up, just push the needle a little bit more further forward. I don't think we're going to be seeing 6 players being signed next summer. You know, even 3 players being signed in the January transfer window. I don't think we're going to see that again. And I think you can see that with the contracts that are being signed and the announcements now. Like, really, to be honest, do we really need to announce Odegaard being signed up now? Unless it is a actual cultural shift in Arsenal, that, you know what, we're going to get our guys, the foundations sorted for the next 5 to 8 years. Everything and anyone else, we're going to add, just complement the team. Whatever we're lacking, we'll just try and get the best in show. We'll try and get the best guide possible for us. Just like how Fergie did in his pump. That's what I personally think is going to happen.
Now, fair enough, man. Matt, what are your thoughts, man? Just speak to me, man, regarding the game, regarding the team, what we could do to improve. Because I am gonna eventually, sorry, people, because I'm gonna get to the Saka injury as well, because we haven't even spoken about that, and we will speak about that because I've got my own personal idea regarding that injury as well. But Matt, let me know, man. What are your thoughts, man? What are your thoughts?
Sad, you want that positivity I brought the other day? It's not coming today, bruv. Like, listen, you know what? You know what? That Lens game, listen, we're all Arsenal fans, yeah. I was just saying on another show, I feel like even though we went 1-0 up, it felt like that type of game where we were going to struggle. I always look at opposition's midfield, and you know, I always get that thing of like Sporting Lisbon game, like where we think we're going to do well. Our 11's good, you know what I mean? And then we lost Saka, we lost pace. Once we lose pace on our wings, we're finished. Like Vieira coming on, not saying that he's not good. We don't have Martinelli. We had Trossard and Vieira, and it's all well and good to have them, you know, doing their little cutbacks, this and that, but we need pace. And the way Jesus plays, we need them to be able to rotate and really shift the defense. Because listen, Danso shut down Jesus yesterday, like finished him. And then once we lost that, we were done. So that was a bit disappointing. And for me as well, I looked at that away game, and you look at, we've got Sevilla and PSV left to play away as well, right? This was, my opinion, the easier away game of all of them. Like Sevilla is going to be hard in that cauldron, yeah, when we've got to get a point or win. It's going to be very, very, very difficult. PSV away is not going to be easy. I saw PSV dust off Rangers, right? Gave them problems. So that's why I'm annoyed, because had we have won that game, PSV went and drew yesterday, right? That's 6 points. You still have 2 more home games. You win them 2 home games, you're through. That's it. Now we're looking, we then have to get a point away from in 1 games unless results swing our way. So yeah, it was a bit of a disappointment, but listen, hopefully brush ourselves down. Rice gave me a bit of confidence after. I don't know if you guys saw his interview. I was like, yeah, you're right, Glenn, you know, I feel like that too. You know what I mean? So listen, in that aspect, I feel kind of good. Now, you lot are talking about strikers. I just caught Igor talking about Osimhen. I'm not too sure if he said he wants Osimhen. For me, I would like Tony, and I feel like in January we'll do a thing. But I just feel that Osimhen's a killer. Like he is that, you know, is with him. He is that. I think Rashid talks about the needle. Like he is that striker there that will just take us from. We're there. Tony might miss a few chances. Osimhen takes us to. I'm suddenly wanting the league. We should be winning it because Haaland's there. He did it in Serie A last season, bang goals. He hasn't started the best this season, and he will change a lot at our club. I think he'll be phenomenal. Tony would be good as well. We've seen him dominating Premier League, but I want someone that takes us like European teams fear us, man. You know what I mean?
Would you take the chances of getting Ivan Toney in January to try to win the league this year, or do you think Napoli could even consider selling him for cheap in this January? They're not. So
listen, De Ronce's not in the summer. But you know what? It all depends where we are, though. Like, if we look at the league table come January and we're top by 3, behind by 2, then yeah, I fully agree with you. I think go and get a striker. Let's attack the league. Let's go win it. If, God forbid, we're about 7 points behind and we're looking, you know what? We're not going to do it. Do what we did with Rice, where we knew that Rice was going to come in the summer. That you know what I mean? That will kind of bring the whole thing of Arsenal fans. We go, you know what? There's a disappointment.
I'll give you a different angle. Add Pedro Neto. Imagine you have a choice: get Osimhen for 150 plus, or get Pedro Neto and Tony for around the same money.
I'll take that.
I think Arsenal would do that because we're doing a thing where we've been getting experienced players in the league. You bring in Ivan Toney and Pedro Neto into this team, bro, I smell titles. I don't know about you guys.
What I'll say about Tony as well, I love it. We also as well last season, I think it was the Anfield performance where I watched him and I was like, you know what? Nah, all right, cool. Like he's ready now. And we need a bit of arrogance. I think we lack someone that, when we went Etihad last season, I don't know about you guys, I had no hope that we were going to win that game last season.
I had false hope.
You know what I mean? So we need them type of players where we can go to games like, come, let's go then. Let's go to war. But yeah, we really, really lack that. And it's frustrating because we can see the phases happening with Arteta, and we're nearly there. We're not there yet. Just a few tweaks, we'll get there. And you were talking about, I think Igor's right as well. I think midfield is not our real big issue. It's striker. We saw the Tottenham game and how quick the game turned when Jesus missed that chance where he nicked it off Maddison. Any other 9, bottom bins. There was no need to smash that. You know what I mean? Bottom corner, you take the lead, you beat Tottenham. You know what I mean? It's a whole different story. So, yeah, it's fine margins with Arsenal, man. We shoot ourselves in the foot a lot. It's very frustrating, but I guess that's part and parcel of being a Gooner, isn't it? We've got to accept it.
Shah just came out here and said it's too risky to wait until summer because worst comes to worst, Tony and Osimhen could get bagged, and then we'll end up with Patrick Bamford. Listen, if that ever happened, bro, you'll find me on the street, bro. You'll find me on the street somewhere.
No, don't worry. Patrick Bamford will call him sick just for the medical. Don't worry about it.
Patrick Bamford. I'm telling you right now, Eddie Nketiah is better than Patrick Bamford.
Exactly.
Oh no,
Exactly.
yeah, for sure.
Just in terms of Pedro Neto, with Salah possibly leaving, I think Liverpool will be all over that. So if we're going to move, we need to move this January.
I rate him so highly.
He's an Arsenal fan, right?
Jared Bowen.
But he's an Arsenal fan, right?
Yeah.
Pedro Neto?
Pedro Neto's an Arsenal fan. The works would have been put in. The works would have been put in for that. And you know what? Just like how they signed Oxlade-Chamberlain from us because Oxlade-Chamberlain is a Liverpool fan. I do think that Arsenal do that high level of homework when they're looking at players. I wouldn't be surprised if we get Neto. And the fact that he's an Arsenal fan could be the tipping point. These fine margins are things that are considered when they're going for players. You think about it, he's going to be excited to join. He's ready to move up now. He's ready. He really should be at a better club.
Do you know what? Now, what you just said, I think what I love with Neto as well. I don't know about you guys, but we've missed having a left-footed winger. Please tell me, because you're this whole right-footed person on the left. I want a left winger that takes on man, whips the ball in, and he can also play on the side of Saka. So we need to. We've got to rest Saka. I'm sure we're going to get into that in a minute. But Neto is phenomenal, man.
Imagine if you had a target man with those type of crosses.
You see what I'm saying? So the Neto and Tony thing, Egal's got me. I was talking to Osimhen, he got me there. Yeah, Neto and Tony. That for me, if we're near the top and we sign a Neto and Tony, we're in the league. And I'm gonna say it now, and I said it the other day. You see this Sunday? I don't know if we're going to it. We win this game. If we win this game, we're winning the league. I said it already. I don't care.
I like that. I like the energy.
They're due defeat from us in the league, man. They're due. They are due.
But that's what I'm saying. We know as Arsenal fans, there's certain games we don't win. And in terms of with Arsenal, it's all year, it's mentality. So if we, for example, last season, if we had won that Anfield game, we would have won the league because we would have gone to every other game and said, we won at Anfield, we don't win there. So if we beat City, really, who else should we fear in the league? There isn't anybody. So you know what I mean? So, and listen, there's no better time. No KDB, no De Bruyne, Rodri. Come on, seriously.
But just quickly to go before I move on to Saka, just to go back to that Pedro Neto. Pedro Neto, because a lot of people were saying, Mateus Nunes, he's their best player. No. I disagreed, man. I thought Pedro Neto has been their best player, most consistent player. Anytime he's on the pitch, he is creating stuff. He is always on the end of these runs and just causing trouble for defenders. Anytime I see him, I rate that guy so highly. If we can get him, oh my God, man. Oh my God.
Wolves are not going to make it easy. Wolves are not going to make it easy.
100%. That's the prized possession there.
Yeah. But you know what? Outside of transfers, there's one thing that we need. we need more experience in this team.
Facts.
We lack experience. You look at that Newcastle team today. They've never been in the Champions League. But how many Champions League players do they have in their team? You look at that Newcastle starting 11. You got guys throughout the whole team that have played Champions League football. You look at the Arsenal team that played against Lens. Now, I'm not making fun of our club right now. I'm literally merely pointing out the fact that we don't have too many guys who played Champions League football before in that team. So when it goes to away games in the Europa League, let's be honest, we turn teams over. If this same fixture happened in the Europa League, we would have won. Less pressure, less issues. But the fact that it's the Champions League, I feel like we took the game for granted, and we see the issues that we had. Now I'm just gonna merely point out Newcastle today. You know how many guys they had that actually played in the Champions League before? Isaac's played in the Champions League previously. You have Gamarish who's played in the Champions League previously. Tonali, and then you go Trippier. That's already 4 players that have played in the Champions League.
Shaw for Basel as well.
Shaw, I didn't even know that. So that's 5. We don't have 5 players in our starting 11 that's ever played in the Champions League before until this season. So these kind of things can help you.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Sorry. Apologies, guys. Listen, we need to move to the Saka news, man. We need to move to the Saka news because I can't lie, man. There's been like it must be 100 times now. It must be 100 times that I've seen this guy fall down, wobble off the pitch, and the next thing you know, we're all in a panic. We're panicking. We're thinking, "Oh my God, Saka's done. He's finished. Is he gone for the whole season?" All of a sudden, you see this guy starting in the next game. I'm like, bro, how many times is Arteta gonna put like firstly, yeah? I'm lucky that I'm onto Arteta, yeah, because my FPL has been saved. I never took Saka out once. Firstly, let me just put that out there. Not once did I take Saka out, bro. That guy's been in my FPL since the start of the game. He's there forever. But what we need to talk about is he going to be available to start on Sunday? Because there's reports coming out. A guy called Con Harrison actually came out and said, I actually took a screenshot of the tweet earlier, which he came out and said, Bukayo Saka has a minor strain in his hamstring. I'm never going to try to pronounce that word. It's a medical word. Will face a late fitness test on the weekend's game against Man City. So the real question I want to ask you guys is, do you start him in that game if he's fit?
Of course.
Because there'll be certain people out there that'll be like, oh, nah, I wouldn't risk him now, man. No. What about the rest of the season?
No, you would start him. If he's fit, you play him. And I feel like a lot of the younger players, they recover a lot quicker and they're a lot better with dealing with this type of injuries. So, yeah, I think if he's fit, you play him. If Martinelli's a bit fit as well, I say a bit fit. If he's fully fit, you play him as well. I think like you have to play your best team. You know, against City, we're not like City where we can have a couple out and they can bring on a Doku, play Nunes, even get away with playing like Calvin Phillips and stuff like that. So he has to play, but at the same time, Arteta does frustrate me. You know, you're playing games and like you're winning comfortably. Take the guy off, and you know it's not even just him. Why not just tell Gareth Southgate as well? Listen, like, don't play my guy. It's a friendly. Why are you playing him? And Saka maybe has to, you know, stand up and say, you know what, rest me today. I've got Arsenal on the weekend, whatever. Because it's so frustrating. We can clearly see. The boy is tired. Like he's struggling.
Gareth Southgate pisses me off so much. He pisses me off so much because he's actually such a prick because there's such irrelevant games. Macedonia. Does he really need to be playing against North Macedonia? No, he doesn't. Just stick him on the bench and stick Phil Foden up there. You barely play Phil Foden anyway. Why are you
England have an injury crisis though? So he doesn't know what to do himself. The guy's an idiot, but he can't pick him when he's injured. So if he misses the Man City game, the only positive is he misses the whole international break. If he plays in the Man City game, he gets selected for the international break. So either way, it's basically you win, you lose, you win.
I have a theory on that. I think Klopp does it quite a bit, and I'm sure you guys see it. There's a lot of clubs, they'll drop that whole, do you know what? He's got a bit of a hamstring and that, or whatever, and they don't play international. And then then when it comes back to club that week, you see them in training sprinting. I said, bro, you're lucky, And I think
Klopp's the master of that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I think as a manager, you have to be smart. I would do that. If my player, my prized possession is going to just a normal friendly, I'll be like, bro, you're resting this one, Because at the same time, you're contracted to this club, bruv. Like, you best be fit for the league. Like you said, Macedonia, whoever, and all that. Forget that.
Bro, there's a manager that comes to anytime anybody mentions faking injuries to get out of international break, the first manager that comes into mind is Sir Alex Ferguson. This guy did it every time.
He was the king.
How many international things did Rooney miss? Where Alex Ferguson's like, you know what? He's picked up a knee issue, man. He's gonna be out for like 5 weeks. So we don't know right now. We're assessing him. Bro, next thing you know, this guy's playing on a weekend back. As soon as they're back on that weekend, he's done, ready, strapping up, ready to play the game, man. I truly do believe that he is completely fine, man. I'm with you, girl. To be honest, I feel like Arteta's just doing this. It's some twisted mind games that he's doing, bro. I've even seen some people put out the TL. I think Arteta just sent him out. I was like, right. So if we're going to these types of mind games, Arteta's actually sick. I'm actually realistic. If he does that, Arteta's actually sick. I don't know what's going on here.
But Arteta does tell people go down. Remember when Partey tried to walk off the pitch?
That was the funniest thing.
He said, if you're ever feeling anything, just sit down on the pitch. So
stop the game.
I do believe.
And what did Saka do? Saka sat down on the pitch.
By the way, Sky Sports reported after the game that this could have been a precaution because Mikel Arteta had clearly had instructions that he's not going to risk anybody before the big game on the weekend. So after the game, when he said, it's not looking good, I don't believe him. He does this all the time. This is a situation where we should know that he's going to make it seem like he's missing the game. When the sheet comes out and you see Saka, they're going to be scared.
Do you think then Arteta is comfortable with that loss?
What loss?
See, he was willing to the loss against Lens. If he was
he had no choice but to take off Saka. If Saka's not feeling, if Saka could not continue, he had to take him off for the betterment of the team. Because at the end of the day, if we would have won against Lens, but we'd have actually had Saka out for an extended period, that would have been more of an L.
They're saying it's a hammy, yeah. Darren Bent was saying that actually hamstrings not really got anything to do with age. It's more to do with how good the player is. So if you've got a really speedy player, they're more likely to break down from a hamstring recovery than one who's not as fast. So, obviously Saka is one of the faster players that we have. If all of this is to be believed, yeah, and he does have a hamstring strain, they better look after him because that's going to potentially be an extended time in recovery. So, you might want to be playing the mind games, but if there's some truth into what you're saying, we don't want to have us being the butt of the joke in the long run.
What's the points gap between City and Arsenal? I can't remember. What's the?
I think it's 1 point. 1 point now.
1.17 and 18 points.
Do you know what? Rashad makes a point. We need to remember we're so early in the season, and the way opposition fans get at us, we think like it's doom and gloom. But I do think if there is any doubt, just don't risk him. I know it will be annoying for us to watch and think, City are going to do it again, but the season's a long season, man. Declan Rice said it. You've got another 50 or so games left here. Someone's got to step up. Listen, it might be a game where you play Reece Nelson, that, someone with a bit of pace, someone that can do something else. And it might be a case of, listen, Bukayo, you missed this game, you missed international. That's your rest. When you come back, you're at it again. Because I think our fixture list after, I think it's Chelsea and then some other, easier games, and maybe that's what we need to do. That's what it's a squad game.
Matt,
I know sorry.
I'm begging for that game. I'm begging for that game that Reece Nelson takes by the scruff of the neck.
Yeah, exactly what I'm asking for. Yeah,
I'm waiting for that match. I'm waiting for that. City, great. I'm just waiting for that match. I've been waiting, but trust me, patiently for that one.
Ravi's just brought up an interesting conversation quickly before we wrap it up. I just want to ask this question to the panel, bro, because it's interesting because there's different opinions from different people. Yeah, so I'm going to read out the question. The question is, do you think ESR has a future at Arsenal? I will firstly answer this off by saying yes. I feel like he has a bright future at Arsenal. I feel like he was injured, but now he's had his operation. He's injury free, and it's only a matter of time before he gets back to what he was doing before he got injured, which was, I can't lie, controlling the midfield in a way, man. He was definitely a forward player, being able to progress the ball forward, very direct. I think we're missing that. We need more direct players in the midfield. But we'll start off with Cav, and then we'll move through the panel. Just, do you think he has a future?
If he can get a game, definitely. I mean, we know he's had. We know Smith Rowe's had. He's had some serious injuries, and I know Arteta's reasoning was, he's only really not too long come back. He's trying to integrate him again slowly and stuff. But when you're looking at someone like the way Havertz is performing, like you got to throw Smith Rowe in a lot earlier than he's getting. He's getting like he's coming and he's getting 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. No, throw him in. That season where him and Saka, were combining well and they were top goal scorers a couple years back. He's never going to get back to that if he's not given an opportunity. And I feel that Havertz being there, Arteta just loves Havertz, and I think I can see Havertz no matter what, what happens, because he's played so much for Havertz. I can see Havertz keeping his spot in the team and Smith Rowe just waiting on the fringes. Would have been better if we sent him out on loan, to be honest. He has to be playing. Someone of his quality has to be playing. Does he have a future? Yes, but like I said, he has to get opportunities. He's not getting.
Fair enough. Rashid, what are your thoughts?
Okay, this is my. I'm just answering the question. It's not my wish. It's what I think is going to happen. I don't think he has.
You don't think he has?
No. I think the same type of narrative and rhetoric that was uttered during Balogun's time, which was effectively to just get to his valuation up as much as possible. I see similarities with what Arteta's been saying about ESR for 2 seasons now, not just one. So for me, I don't think so. It's not what I want. It's not what I want. But I don't think he will.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Listen, I've heard that from a few people as well. Igal? Same thing.
I think he does, but it's going to be short-lived if he cannot stay fit. And I'm not saying he has a bright future at all. I'm merely saying he is not the main man of this club. The number 10 shirt was given to him because at the time he was performing like one of our best players. He's no longer anywhere near one of our best players. He's probably not even top 5. I don't even think he's top 11. I think he's probably one of, if you go through the list of players based on the fact that he's not been able to be fit and he hasn't been available for as long as he's been, you could probably name a whole 11 of players that you put ahead of him in the pecking order. And that's not in position, of course. That's just overall.
If he's not top 11, then he's not starting 11, is he?
No, he's not starter caliber at this moment in time. So his future at Arsenal is rotation option. And if he wants to get to his best and maybe push back to where he was, he can maybe take that number 8 role and run with it. But from what I've seen, Mikel Arteta doesn't sub off Kai Havertz for ESR. He subs off Odegaard for ESR, which to me means Fabio Vieira and Havertz are that position, and he's only going to play if Odegaard needs rest or something like that. And to me, Odegaard is not getting benched ever unless it's a League Cup game.
Nice. Matt, let me know, man. Let me know.
Nah, you know what? I wish he had a future at Arsenal. I feel like that injury was just at a time where, had he have performed and got the games, we might have been talking a bit different about him. I like him. I think he's a quality player. I just think, I think you look at the phases we're going through and how we're trying to improve the team. I just think, you know what, in the summer, I think he's going to look at it and go, do you know what? Like, I'm not starting here. I'm going to go. And I feel like Arsenal going to look at some bringing in, you know, Ethan. Miles Skelly might get a bit of game time, or even Charlie Patino. And I just think ESR, I think his time's done. And I think you can kind of see it. Like, you look at, I don't know if you guys saw when he missed that chance against who was it? Was it Brentford? And he was crying after the game. And
Bournemouth,
a lot of people, Bournemouth, yeah. A lot of people will look at it and think it's minor, but it shows you like how much it's getting to him in the sense of like, bro, I've missed it. I feel like my chance is gone again. So I think for him, I think in the summer, that's it, man. Like, it'll be sad to see, you know, when you've got a prospect like that and you've seen him from youth level, you never want to see them leave. But listen, you've got to move on, man. He's holding a good shirt number, man. Someone else can come in and take that from him, you know. You guys disagreeing. We've got to be, as Arsenal fans.
That's harsh. What you said is harsh, bro. He's holding up a shirt number. You're talking about him as if he's Cedric. That's harsh.
Hey, listen, don't start me on that guy. I'm still looking for him, bro. I've been searching for every day after work. I go looking for that Donny. I hate him.
Nah, Cedric and El Neni at this point, they're literally mascots.
No, but El Neni's different. El Neni brings
El Neni. No, El Neni, you know, I think we already know El Neni has a coach.
He brings positive energy. I like it.
Yeah.
He's a coach. He's gonna be a coach. I'm telling you. As soon as his contract ends, oh my God, we've hired El Neni as a brand new coach. It's not like I didn't see that.
But remember those clips from, I don't know, it was last season or the season before, where Xhaka and El Neni were holding coaching sessions.
Yeah, I saw that.
So the plans are already in place.
I'll just say, just quickly, throw on Cedric. What makes you laugh with Cedric? Yeah, you forget he's at the club and everything. I watch the train. I don't know about you. I love watching them training videos Arsenal put up, and I'm like, how is he still there? Like, genuinely, like, why does no one say to him, bro? Like, you know that video where someone goes to the training ground, there's the doors locked. That's what they need to do to man, because I'm fed up of seeing at the club, bro. Genuinely,
he refused to go to Fulham.
That's crazy. That is crazy, man. Just go away. Like, you're the bane of our life.
It's a weird, career choice to make.
He doesn't want to take a pay cut.
That's a weird career choice to make at the twilight of your career. Because you think if you're not on the pitch, you're in no one's mind. And you know, if he may regret making this decision now, if he wants to play on for another 3-4 years. Because others be thinking, oh, is he still playing, Cedric? Oh, right, okay, yeah. Well, he's definitely not match fit. He's hasn't played a game. Must be something wrong with him. Why didn't he go to Fulham? I think sometimes the players don't think about 2 or 3 steps ahead in their careers, because their careers are like that, so short. And they've got to take those opportunities when they come. Sometimes.
You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna say this before we log off. Cedric, please find your way to the nearest airport, man. Find your way to the nearest airport, bro. You got enough money, man. Get a private jet for you and your family to Portugal, bro. It's nice. It's hot, bro.
He just wants to play 1 game of Champions League. That's it,
bro. Oh my God. Can you imagine if it's in the Champions League? I'll actually start crying on my watch along, bro. I'll actually start crying. and not
No,
tears
no,
of
I don't
happiness,
mind.
not tears
If
of
it's
joy.
game week,
It's tears of upset.
if it's match week 6 and we've already qualified, group, top of the group, I'll happily see Cedric play.
Oh,
Nah,
That's
man.
the
But that's
scenario.
where you want to see.
That's the
That's where you
scenario.
want to see Raw Waters and them guys. man.
yeah,
Don't wanna see-
Don't
bro.
wanna
The
see Cedric.
youngsters.
Lino Sousa
Forget
and
about
that,
this
Yeah.
old man, Uncle Fester, bro. Get out of here, man. I don't want to see him, man. Anyway, listen, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in, guys, on the panel with me. Thank you very much for coming in and talking with us. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe to every single one of their channels. Cav, Rashid, Igal, and Matt. I've put all of their channels down in the description so you can literally click on it and then it takes you straight to their channels. So make sure to go to their channels, subscribe, hit the like button on all their videos as well. And listen, I want you guys to answer this comment or this question in the comments, man. Does ESR have a future at the club? Let me know down below in the comments for all the people watching on the replay. Thank you very much for tuning in with us. We'll see you guys later.